Hello and welcome. This is Jonathan Corsandy. I will be your host and your guide along this little tour of what's called Podference. And we'll just go over the basics here on part one, and that is, what is a podcast? How do I create one? And most importantly, how do I link my teleconference call to a podcast automatically? So without further ado, let's get started with the end in mind. Beginning with the end in mind is always a good idea, especially if you want to stay focused on the end result and how you get there. So this is the iTunes interface for a podcast. And a podcast essentially is a subscription mechanism that you can share with your audience, that when every time you have an update on your content, it automatically gets pushed out to them. And this is an example of a podcast title. These are individual podcast episodes. And as you can tell, one of them is a PDF that we can send out. One of them is in a phone call that automatically gets pushed out. And another one could be a video. Now you may choose to do all video or all teleconference call or all PDF or a combination of all of the above. It's entirely up to you. So now every time there's been an update on this particular podcast, the users that subscribe to this particular feed will automatically get this downloaded into their iTunes section, which is free. iTunes is free and can be downloaded at itunes.com. And if they have an iPod, they can sync up with them on the iPod. So now that we're logged into our account, we click on My Feeds and we go down to Create a Feed. Oh, by the way, you will see a list of all your existing feeds down here, but we're just going to go ahead and create a new feed. Now, feed is synonymous with a podcast because you're feeding your audience with content, so it's called a feed. So create a feed, and we're going to put in the title here that we just saw in our iTunes. And the link area is an optional area that you can fill in with your website. So in this case, it's Alex Mandozian who uses this for his Electronic Marketing Institute Inner Circle calls. And in description, we can put in whatever we wish, a brief description of what's going to happen. Alex shares his secrets. And we scroll a little bit further down, and we're going to just skip the whole password protection area right now. We'll address that in a later lesson. And we select no to passwords. And after we hit save, we get what's called a generic feed, and we will get iTunes options. I will address iTunes options in a later lesson. Right now, let's just focus on the basics. This is what's called a generic feed, and it's also the podcast feed. So let's see what happens when we copy this into iTunes. Essentially, when we go to iTunes, we select Advanced, Subscribe to Podcast, paste this entire feed in there, and hit OK. Now once we hit OK, you'll notice that in this particular example there's no audio because we haven't created anything yet. But this is essentially what a podcast is all about. Now we want to go and add additional episodes to this podcast so that when people download this, they get each podcast delivered to them and each episode delivered to them automatically. Now we'd like to add an episode to this particular podcast, and let's just say we want to do that from a conference call. So what we do is go into Manage Episodes, select the feed that we want to work on. In this case, it's the Electronic Marketing Inner Circle calls. And it says we have no episodes yet. So we'll just put in episode 1 here and call it Call 1. And let's just say Marketing Overview. And in description we can put the same, or we can just put whatever we wish in there. We can put a little bit lengthier description. And because we want this to be from a conference call, we're going to skip all of this right here and go all the way down to a conference call. Now what happens is the system will recognize that you're putting something in for a conference call at a certain time at a certain date. And let's just say it's going to be 12:45 Pacific Standard Time, and then we'll go for about an hour on the 2nd, and we should be done around 1:45 p.m. and I hit save. So now what happens is I've added an episode into this particular podcast. Now let's fast forward and see what that looks like if we had a call on that particular date, what it would look like inside iTunes. Now we fast forward here into the future, pretend like we just had a conference call, and about 7 to 10 minutes later, all your participants that were either on the call or couldn't make it, but are subscribers nonetheless, will receive a copy of that conference call delivered directly into their iTunes and that opens up whenever they open up iTunes, so they can go in and right click and say I want to update my podcast, and there's my call 1 marketing overview that we just set up. Now let's say we have another call and we go ahead and set that up. What will that look like? Now we can add a call number 2. Add episode, hit OK. Call number 2 could be strategy. I think you get the picture by now. And in description we can get more detail, but I'm just going to keep it short for now. And I go down and say, we're going to have this call on the 8th, April 8th, around the same time. So what you're getting here is the ability to schedule ahead. When you know your schedule and you know when you're going to have the call and around what time when it's going to start, when it's going to end, what the system allows you to do to think ahead and actually plan your calls, so that once you've had your conference call using our bridge lines, and I'll show you that later how that works, how that gets recorded, then it automatically gets pushed out. So hits the save button, and now we've added episode number 2, call number 2 for a future date. And again, let's just pretend as if this is already April 8th and we fast forward it to that particular date. What would that look like? Here in iTunes, again, if they go in and hit update by podcast, it's about 1:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on April 8th. We're about a week out. And let's just pretend that the call actually took place. Hit update podcast. And now nicely and neatly organized in a chronological manner, the call to strategy is now in here. And when users get it, they double click on it and they can actually listen to the call. It's as simple as that.